Hello, UC community. I'd like to welcome you to the first UC Student Regent video blog. My name is Alfredo Morales. I'm the current UC Student Regent. I am a UCSF grad student. I went to Berkeley for undergrad. I'm also a registered nurse, and before I served as Student Regent, I worked in the state capitol as a legislative aide. I'm in the second year of a 2-year term, and yeah, I'm excited to be participating in this video.
I'm Jonathan Stein. I'm the Student Regent Designate, which means I'm in the first year of the 2-year Student Regent term. I am a graduate student at UC Berkeley. I'm getting a master's in public policy at the Goldman School and a law degree at Boalt Hall. And before coming back to the Bay Area where I grew up to go to graduate school, I wrote for a magazine called Mother Jones that writes about social justice, progressive politics, the environment, human rights, that sort of thing.
Friend us on Facebook. Well, let me take a step back. Friend me on Facebook, on my personal Facebook. Like Jonathan's fan page, because he is now a public figure. And, you know, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, so anyway.
Also, follow our Twitter. We have a Twitter at UC Student Regent. Let me repeat that. At UC Student Regent. We also have a website being built, ucstudentregent.com. And I know we're joking around, but we really need to stay connected to people from all the campuses. And there should be no barrier between students from any one of the 10 campuses contacting Jonathan.
Visual aids, hugely important.
Beautiful.
I got this up probably 90 seconds after you mentioned our Twitter account, so we have work to do. First ever video blog. We're going to both cover 2 things that we're working on because it'd be impossible to cover everything in the time that we have. So, do you want to start?
Sure. So let me start with the first thing that I've been working a lot on. I actually had conference calls about both of these things last night. The first is we are making the unprecedented move of moving the May Regents meeting to Sacramento instead of one of our campuses. We're doing this to capture the political moment of mid-May when the May revise is released by the governor. We, as the UC system, want to have a say in the direction of the governor's budget for the next fiscal year. And the way we're doing that is having a rally that includes all of the UC community. We're talking students, faculty, staff, unions, regents, alumni, parents, you name it. There's going to be buses coming from all of our campuses.
What day, Alberta?
May 17th. Thank you for asking.
Visual aids, everybody. Visual aids.
So, we're still planning on how this is going to unfold, but anybody who wants to be there will be no excuse. There's going to be free rides from all our campuses to get to the May 17th rally. So secondly, we are working on the changes that are happening to the student health centers. At the January Regents meeting, there were massive chain of command changes made that could have a big impact on how student health care is delivered at our student health centers and counseling centers. Consequently, we are now doing the work of making sure the student voice is in every part of the decision making as these changes are unfolding.
Cool. Okay, so 2 things that I'm working on. By UC policy, actually a policy created by a student regent, a former student regent, professional school deans, when increasing their fees, their professional fees on students over a certain amount, iPhone have to explain to students why they're raising fees, what they need the money for, so that students can hold them accountable down the line, and provide an opportunity for student input and consultation. So I requested from UCOP the documentation that deans have given to UCOP of student input and consultation, and I'll be conferring with the students in each professional department that is seeing a fee increase, and I'll be talking to them about the student input and consultation opportunities that they had. And the hope is that I can write a memo to the administration saying either we had phenomenal student input or consultation, or in 40% of instances, student input and consultation was actually less than dean suggested. It's time to strengthen and review this policy. Memos are a huge part of our job. The other thing that I'm working on is campus climate. Campus climate is really important to me. It's one of the things that I came into this job hoping to work on. I serve on the system-wide steering committee on campus climate, which are administrators from every campus that work on diversity and inclusion issues, access and outreach, etc. What I want to do is create a student equivalent of that committee. So I'm creating the System-Wide Student Steering Committee on Campus Climate, which is tentatively called the SSSCCC. We're in the hunt for a better name. The idea would be to take the students who are already working on campus climate issues on every single campus, working on access, working on outreach, working on restorative justice, working on making sure that there is a space for each community of color, underrepresented group, and putting them into one system-wide space. So the students at Irvine can talk about their successes with the students at Davis, and the students at Berkeley can talk about their shortcomings or frustrations with the students at UC San Diego. And so we can be better about coordinating strategies and approaches across the campuses. So I think it's really important. We're working on how to make this thing work and how to get students involved or how to recruit students to serve right now. So that's in the works. So next up on our agenda is something called Last Week, Next Week, in which we talk about the things that we've been working on in the previous week and the next week. The idea is to be fully transparent in the work that we do. It's really important to me that students know what we're up to and can complain or can congratulate. I think complaining might be a little bit more common than congratulating, given the times that we're in.
Okay. Why don't you take this one?
All right. So last week, I'm going to just burn through these folks, and there's probably more here than we should cover, but first vlog. We're working on it.
Boom.
So we had a conference call with the chancellor at UC Santa Cruz, George Blumenthal, who's a wonderful man, and he gave us a lot of advice on how to best influence the Regents. The man has a long history of working with the Board of Regents. I met with a student group at UC Berkeley called Keep Education Public that want to be players in the fight for public higher education. We both went to the Dean of Students Student Advisory Council at UC Berkeley to talk about our job and to make sure that students who are involved in student affairs know how they can reach out to us and use us as resources. We had a conference call with the staff advisors to the Regents to talk about the health centers issue. I met with student leaders here at UC Berkeley about the SSSCCC, to be named better later. We had a conference call with other student leaders about the student health centers, UCSA, the Council on Student Fees, and others. We met with the Berkeley Chancellor. I met with the Berkeley Chancellor along with the GA President and the ASUC President here, Cal, about the health centers. Big issue, the health centers. I met with our staff here at UC Berkeley, our wonderful student regent staff. We had a meeting/conference call with President Udoff about a variety of issues with the UCSA, with the Council on Student Fees, and others. I went to Taco Tuesday with students at Berkeley. It was awesome. Dollar tacos. You didn't get the invite. You live in San Francisco. You're too far away. And then
for Taco Tuesday,
Alfredo led a conference call with student leaders from across the state on May 17th. That was last week. Next week, we're going to the UCSA. UCSA is the statewide student government of the UC system. We're going to a board of directors meeting at Sacramento on Friday. Then we're going to student lobby conference on Saturday and Sunday where we're leading workshops. And then on Monday, we're taking part of the Day of Action at the Capitol. Rallies, protests, marches, lobby visits, and Occupy will be there. It's going to be a really fascinating day. I'm meeting with the Dean of the Law School later this week, along with student leaders at the law school here at Berkeley. And I have a meeting scheduled with the Office of Government and Community Relations, Kieran Flaherty, who's a friend of both of ours and a really wonderful guy. And so that's next week. We'll be in Sacramento Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll be there on Tuesday, so a lot of time in Sacktown. We're going to take questions in every one of these from students who reach out to us on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever, right? So we got 2 questions this week. The first is from Alex Banza, law student at Bolt. John Stein, great regent or greatest regent?
I say it's a false binary. I think there's a third option.
And thanks, Alex. We're going to have to work on getting
legitimate
questions. We also got a question from Sam B. here at UC Berkeley. What can students achieve in Sacramento on March 5th? Are you worried that Occupy will distract from the message?
Let me take the first half of that question. Yeah. So, look, I think there's a lot of cynicism about how effective marches can be, especially marches led by students. But you would be amazed by the, sorry, I'm gesticulating like I'm Bob Dole. You would be amazed about how much coverage student protests get in Sacramento and statewide. Because when I used to work in the Capitol, when the students would come and protest, it would just take over the public discussion of what was going on in the Capitol for that day or multiple days. So I cannot stress enough how important it is for students to come to this rally and show just how important these issues to us, these issues are to us. And I would say that, you know, it's only one day in the Capitol, but we have to redouble our efforts to continue applying pressure in-district lobby visits, future Sacramento visits, and other things that where we have the opportunity to work for students.
I think we both agree it's important to protest on campus, protest at Regents meetings, but make sure that we're protesting in Sacramento as well. It's a huge piece, and we need to apply pressure on a consistent basis. May 17th is a big part of that.
Yeah, May 17th. So let me say that, look, we are not immune to criticism. Regents deserve protesting too, but let me say that I believe Regents should be protest, but Sacramento needs to be protested more. We've gotten cut $1 billion in 4 years, and that's not a sustainable way to fund the university.
And the second part of Sam B's question was Occupy, and Occupy will be at the Capitol. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. I think the more people we have involved in the fight for public higher education, the better. I think it's great. CSUs will be there, community colleges will be there. I hope that the message of UC students, which we've worked on for months in order to prepare, UCSA has done a really great job organizing all this. I hope that message doesn't get lost because of other actions going on. At the same time, the more the merrier, the more attention we can generate, the better. So that's our thinking on that. The last thing is, do you have ideas for new features?
Yeah, so I mean, our question is, how can these videos be helpful to students? Like, this is an idea Jonathan and I came up with that we think can really be helpful because we want to stay connected to the student community in every possible way there is.
So thanks so much. We both really appreciate the fact that you've watched this whole thing.
If you made it to the end, you're a pretty special person, and we probably know you personally.
Or you're my parents, exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much. Have a great day.